And Anand, I've kind of personally, at least as an observer, seen you as someone who's a very natural people connector. How did you kind of figure out that that was one of your superpowers? Like, did you stumble into it? Has that always been kind of a behavioral pattern? And the reason I ask is that I think a lot of founders kind of have this question or this apprehension that, hey, I can't put myself out there. I'm actually an introvert. I'm a developer. I'm an engineer at heart. I'm a builder, right? Like, I can't do this, right? And so I want to kind of learn from your journey there.
Yeah, funnily enough, believe it or not, Sumitra, I'm actually an introvert. This is my first ever podcast. I think I generally don't put myself out there in the public domain. I've done it more recently, especially in this startup, kind of on the compulsion from my team, mainly the marketing team, who was like, "You're the CEO, you got to get out. If you don't do it, who's gonna do it, right?" So yeah, I kind of have to crawl out of my shell and unwillingly get out there and be this kind of thought leader and community kind of instigator and things like that. I mean, to be honest, to answer your question, the community thing actually comes from a slightly different angle. When I mean, I'd always been doing community things, alumni things, and things like that. I always enjoyed that, primarily because I felt that it was nice to be part of something, nice to contribute to something, nice to share ideas and ask for guidance, and also it's a great benefit, of course, to be part of a wonderful community. So I'd been a part of many communities before, but this kind of more recent community streak started when I came back from YC in summer of 17, and I felt, like I got quite lonely actually as a founder. Didn't know what to do, and so we created this kind of WhatsApp community in India for YC India founders. And back then there was only like I think probably a dozen of us, and before me were the big names like RazorPay and ClearTax, HackerRank, and who else? Misho and a bunch of others, right? And so we kind of got this WhatsApp group going together. There was only a few of us. WhatsApp still wasn't, absolutely booming at that point, but it was, popular enough. So, and that really became the start of a long journey of community building, community engagement, and it's interesting because that WhatsApp group grew from probably 10 companies and 15 individuals to today 300 plus companies and 750 plus founders, and that's really just YC's big push in India. I don't have any official relationship with YC, but it was just incredible to see that everyone assumed I was some kind of administrator, manager, and community leader there because I was self-appointed more than anything, and that led to a lot of people asking me questions in the WhatsApp group, assuming that I knew what I was talking about. And I eventually became kind of an oracle for compliance and tax questions, funnily enough, because for some reason, I found an affinity to answering these questions. And over the years, I collected all these answers into a handbook, and that handbook became like a Bible for YC India companies and how to structure tax, compliance, all that kind of stuff. And that, funnily enough, when I sold my last company, I thought, you know what, if I can write a 120-page handbook on something, I should probably try and productize it and see if I can make a startup out of this. So it was an accident. The whole thing, Inkle, was really just a result of me building this kind of community, adding lots of people, and everyone kind of DMing and WhatsApping the group, and then answers, and then a handbook, and this. So it was really wonderful. And when, of course, I started this kind of community concept, I had no intention of monetizing it or trying to make a business out of it. It just was an accidental thing after I sold my last company. So I was building LotusPay, then I was building Index. Index, of course, was a long journey of 2-3 years, and very, very up and down. We had like half a dozen soft pivots, I think, and my co-founder and I eventually built something which was of value, and it got acquired by a leading fintech in India called Niyo Global, and thereon I quickly started my new company. And interestingly, my new company was able to serve that earlier community. And to your point, like it was like incredible. I think it was half of all YC India companies became Inkle customers within the first year. And so it's funny because a lot of people say your first 10 companies in B2B is the hardest thing. For me, it was actually the easiest thing because I just announced in the WhatsApp group that I'm starting this product, and there was a tax deadline coming up, and it was like, okay, I'm in, take my money, So it was such a complex hair and fire problem that I think people were happy to see a solution finally coming up. So that's how kind of community led to this new startup, and hopefully it would have been the spark of building a very, very large company one day. So let's see.